Till 19 years, I still didn't have the belief that I will go on to play for the country. The reason for that, I got my test opportunity in Ahmedabad because Saurav was injured. So I came and batted at number 6. I got that 50 on a tough wicket, and me and Anil put up a partnership. My dream always, as a kid, was to score 100 in Australia. I always wanted to do well in Australia.
You always did?
I always. And that was the only test matches I used to watch as a kid, even though India didn't play. Whatever used to come.
Welcome once again to Cricket Legends, and to a program I'm really looking forward to doing, because I'm going to talk to one of my favorite cricketers, favorite person, someone I've known for a long time, and something that encapsulates him. The celebrated English novelist said this about him. Jeffrey Archer said, and don't focus too much on the first half of what he said. He said, 2020 is rubbish, so is one-day cricket. He said, to me, cricket is watching VVS Laxman bat all day against the Australians and beating them the next morning. It's not bad at the end of your career to have people saying that about you, is it?
Yeah, it's fantastic, and someone like Jeffrey Archer, who I respect a lot, as a writer, coming from him, it was really satisfying.
And there is this little kid playing on a little matting wicket in a little maiden in Hyderabad, and when he finishes, people are saying nice things about him. It's been a good life, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been a phenomenal journey, Harsha. From where I started off as a young kid in Hyderabad, dreaming of playing for India, and to have played for 16 years, more than 100 test matches. It has been a very fruitful journey, a very satisfying journey, and I feel really blessed.
16 years. But it was a very peculiar upbringing. I mean, today most people would find it very interesting to know that here is this boy who plays under 15 for Hyderabad, plays under 15 for Hyderabad on the condition that he comes back and dissects an earthworm at home.
When I was in my intermediate, which is 11th and 12th class, and that's when I took BPC as my subjects, and as everyone knows, I wanted to be a doctor like my parents. And I took BPC, and one of the exams, the practical exam of taking say zoology, is you have to either dissect an earthworm or a frog. And people won't believe it, I didn't attend the classes where the dissection. My college didn't mind it because they knew that I was representing Hyderabad and South Zone at that time. And my father, who in fact was at home, he was having jaundice, so he was at home. He taught me how to dissect a frog.
Is that where you learnt this subtlety to your batting, this wonderful finesse, this very delicate batting?
So I think it always was natural to me. It was not something which I practiced or I wanted to bat in a certain manner. It always came natural to me. Fortunately for me, right from a young days, I had a lot of time playing the fast bowlers. So what happens is, even though you're playing the quickest bowler in world cricket, because you have that extra fraction of a time at your disposal, you feel that you're in a position early on.
Okay, couple of things about your batting. I remember, I enjoyed doing commentary on your batting simply because we go wow sometimes. But the ball always made a different sound coming out of your bat. We've all played a little bit of cricket, and we've all had days when the ball was going talk.
Yeah, I heard this from you before, chick or something.
And when you were batting, it was almost as if you were telling the ball, would you mind going to the boundary? I don't want to hurt you, so I'll it's like your aunt giving you an injection. You want to be as gentle as possible, and the ball went chick.
I've heard this before.
Yeah. Why?
I think.
Is it your? What was it?
That came just naturally to me. I told right from my childhood, that's the way I batted. It's not anything which I developed over the years. It was not something which I really practiced. I used to practice, and this is what I tell youngsters. You don't require to look facing the quickest of bowlers, and also timing.
When did you think, what? I think I can play this game all my life. Was it when you first played for Hyderabad? Was it when you went on a couple of those India A tours? When was that?
Interesting, because when I took this decision at the age of 17, 12, and the end of 12th, I feel a lot of credit should be given to my maternal uncle, Baba Krishnamon, who was my mentor. He was the one who identified my talent, and he was the one who actually convinced my parents that I was talented enough. And I was very fortunate. Unlike other parents, my parents gave me the freedom to choose my own career. They told me that it's not the profession which you're taking which glorifies you, but you have to go and glorify the
They
profession.
didn't say, नहीं तो compounder बन सकते हैं हमारे इसमें.
No, not at all. Not at all. And they gave me the freedom. But what they did, which was very important, was they gave me a 5 years deadline. They gave me from 17 to 22. You go and play and achieve your dream of playing for the country in the game of cricket. But once you are 22, once the end of 5 years, if you are just playing Ranji Trophy, you have to leave cricket, come back, and again appear for the entrance exam, because to become a doctor there is no age limit, whereas cricket it's a physical
I'm trying
sport.
to think of a 22-year-old VVS Laxman going back to write the medical entrance, getting through, becoming a doctor at some 42 or something, because doctors take some 15-20 years. Right?
I mean, I'll come to that, because after retirement I again wanted to go and do medicine.
What do you say?
Yeah, but Shailaja told I've done enough sacrifice for you.
You wanted to become a doctor after retirement.
Because that was my goal always. So I thought I achieved my dream of playing for India. Now let me achieve my goal of becoming a doctor. But because of Shailaja, and obviously she has made a lot of sacrifice, even my kids have made a lot of sacrifice, I decided, okay, let me now not again dedicate myself to the medical profession. But coming back to the story, Asha, and then till 19 years, I still didn't have the belief that I will go on to play for the country. I enjoyed playing. I was really working hard on improving as a cricketer. I was really performing in every and using every opportunity I was getting. But the turning point was the Under-19 series against Australia. And I was the highest run getter against a very formidable Under-19 Australia.
It had to be Australia.
That was when it all started with the Australians. And that series gave me the self-belief, because it was against some quality bowling attack. Brett Lee was their spirit, and Sandeep Patel was our coach of the India Under-19, and he actually gave a statement in media saying that Laxman is ready to play for the country.
It still took 2 years to get a chance to play for India.
Which I was fortunate, because sometimes for some players who do well at the Under-19 level, it can take more than that. But after that, I got a lot of opportunities. I played for South Zone in the Dilip Trophy. I started playing consistently for Hyderabad in the Ranji Trophy after my Under-19 performance, because prior to 1994, I must have played only 3 or 4 games in 2 seasons, even though I made my debut in 1992.
So you picked and dropped and picked and dropped.
Oh, I've experienced that a lot through my career.
I saw you made your test debut in Ahmedabad against South Africa. You made a half century. You must have thought, wow, Ganguly and Dravid had just come in, and there you were. And yet from 96 all the way through 99, you were in and you were out, and then you're opening the batting and you're in the middle order. So
that was again a great learning experience. I think from 17 to 22 was one kind of experience for me. I learned a lot, and my first 4 years in international cricket for India was again a great learning experience. The reason for that, I got my test opportunity in Ahmedabad because Saurav was injured. So I came and batted at number 6. I got that 50 on a tough wicket, and me and Anil put up a partnership, and we gave a decent total. And Srinath, one of the best spells of fast bowling I have seen on that day. We won the test match. But then Saurav came back. I still batted at number 7. And after that, it was difficult for me to bat always at number 7. And we had a star-studded middle order, because by then Saurav and Rahul established themselves with those performances.
And that other 24-year-old was still there.
Yeah, I mean, he was a legend already. Yeah. So Sachin was there and Azharuddin was there. So I was asked by the selectors to open, because they realized my potential, my talent. And I took it up as a challenge, because right from my childhood, I've always been a number 3 batsman. But that's when I decided that, okay, because I'm being given an opportunity to play for India, I want to take that opportunity. And I didn't back away from opening the innings. But
you didn't like it.
Exactly.
It was very clear that you didn't like it, because I still remember that day in Sydney, just turn of the century, 99-2000. Is it true, the story? You're standing at slip and you've told Sourav Ganguly, I think my career's over. I think I'll have to go back to Hyderabad now. I've got my chances. I don't think I'll get picked again. And then you go out to bat, and you played one of the most dramatic innings I have ever seen in my life.
I know Saurav told that to a lot of people, but that was not the fact. What I told was my dream always, as a kid, was to score 100 in Australia. I always wanted to do well in Australia.
You always did?
I always. And that was the only test matches I used to watch as a kid. Even though India didn't play, whatever used to come, on television. I used to get up early in the morning and was something about watching the test matches played in Australia excited me. And that is what I actually mentioned to Saurav. But coming to that 4 years, the reason I was still successful in domestic cricket because the moment I used to come back to Hyderabad, I used to bat at number 3. But I used to play for India opening, and what I realized was I messed up with my technique a lot because I felt, which in hindsight I shouldn't have done, I felt an opener's technique should be totally different to a number 3 technique. In doing that, I messed up my natural technique, which was existing with me. And then once I was not getting runs in couple of innings, everyone were talking that he was a non-regular opener, and I didn't like that, because I was trying to establish myself as a regular opener. And once people were dropping me after 2 or 3 low scores, saying that he's a non-regular opener, that's when I decided, even after that Sydney 167, I decided that I'm going to not open
But
anymore.
I'm not going to let you jump ahead of the story because that 167 was... You've played a lot of great innings, but if I had to pick 3 of the best innings of yours that I have seen, the 281 would obviously be there, but this 167 would definitely be there. And were they bowling boundary balls at you, or were you at a different spiritual plane where everything seemed like a boundary ball? Because that was as breathtaking an innings as you'll ever see.
Yeah, I thought I was in a zone, and it probably started after that hit from McGrath, and it happened to me throughout my career. If I'm not well, I'm injured, or something like that. Actually, it got the best out of me, and I was in a zone, and also I was helped by the fact that Steve had an attacking field because they were really having the upper hand. But I played every ball on its merit. I was not, again, that was one
If you
example
played
of,
every ball on your merit, that was some of the worst bowling I've ever seen because you were hitting everything.
It was just that's actually my natural style, which changed over the years. But that was my natural style, and that's when I decided that inning that I'm going out and playing the way I know of playing right from my younger days, and everything fell in place that match. And what really was something which I learned from that inning was I was not really seeing where the Indian team were at that moment. We were going to lose the game in 3.5 days. But I just wanted to go and play to my potential. I was not thinking about what's going to happen or what has happened, because I knew that was my last chance to do well in Australia, and that excited me.
We are, of course, you opened the batting.
Yep.
In that innings, you got 100. You came back, you opened the batting against South Africa.
Yeah.
2 innings, 3 innings, and suddenly there from the high that you were back to not being in the side.
I didn't know what went wrong, because I got that 167. Yes, I got an opportunity to play the 1 days. I didn't do well, but that was totally a different format. And then I come here, play against South Africa, didn't get runs in the 2 innings. They were bowling really well, and that's when I decided I'm not going to open anymore.
Now, this is a very interesting phase, and I think it's something that a lot of people must understand, which is that VVS Laxman decided, I'm not going to open the batting again, there's no coming back, was aware that the place in the middle order wasn't that easy. So you went back to Ranji Trophy cricket, and the bowler said, why?
What I decided, Arsha, after that Mumbai Test match was, I'm going to lead a life of a normal first-class cricketer. I'm not even looking to make a comeback. As you mentioned, there was no spot because it
wasn't that you were playing Rocky in your head and you were going out saying, I'll show them.
Not at all. I was thinking that I'm going to lead a life of a first-class cricketer, and when I'm leading a life of first-class cricketer, my goal is to make Hyderabad win the Ranji Trophy. That always has been my goal, and that is one which I regret that I've never been able to achieve that goal. And I went back and I did justice to my role as the main batsman of Hyderabad cricket. And I thought I'm not even looking to make a comeback. Sometimes you go back into domestic cricket to make a comeback, but that year it was not about even making a comeback.
Then came 281. Saurav Ganguly said it not only changed VVS Laxman's life, it changed the way Indian cricket was played. It changed the way India were looked at. It got people like Steve Waugh to say that if you get Tendulkar out, if you get Dravid out, it's great. If you get Tendulkar out, it's excellent. If you get VVS Laxman out, it's a miracle. You batted 6.
I wouldn't have actually played that test match, and that not many people know. And a lot of credit to Andrew Leapers, who was a physio. That was the first time I suffered with a back injury. This was 3 days before we reported in Calcutta. We had a net session, and there was a catch in my back. And when I went back to the hotel, went to the physio room, and I just told to Andrew, there's a catch in my back. It's become very stiff, but I'm sure I'll be okay. And he removed my t-shirt and he told, just Lax, just watch yourself in the mirror. And when I watched myself in the mirror, that was, my upper body was tilted towards one side. That is known as list in scientific words. And then he told, this is what you are, and you're expecting to play a test match in 2 days' time. But the amount of work he put in those 2 days to make sure that at least I'm ready to take the field. And fortunately, we fielded first. So it gave me more opportunity, more time to recover. After that, I batted number 6. I batted really well. Australia got that 400 odd runs. Steve-O got 100. We struggled in the first innings, but the way or the manner I got those runs, batting at number 6 and with the tailenders, the way I was playing Shane Warne in the first innings, it prompted John Wright. It was John Wright actually who went and told to Saurav. And later I asked John, what prompted you? John told he saw me bat in the domestic season of 2001, and he saw me get big scores in the Dilip Trophy. And he was one person, and I was very fortunate that John came and John told me, how can you not be consistent at international level? You are an amazing talent, and it's just about changing your mindset. And he gave me the confidence for the first time. My coach gave me a confidence that you don't worry about you being dropped or you being selected. Just go out and play to your potential. You're going to play 10 test matches for India. And that kind of confidence when I got from the coach, I think that gave me an opportunity to go and play my natural game without thinking about the selection. And I was promoted number 3, and I was really pleased. And fortunately, we had a very good opening partnership. Satyagopan Ramesh and SS Das gave us 60 odd runs partnership. Went out. It was important for me not to carry on from where I left in the morning, but again start from a knot. And as it turned out, again, like what I thought at Sydney during the 167 knock, I had the same principle: is not to think about what's going to happen or the position we are in. Just go out and play to the merit of the ball. And as it turned out, I think one of the best innings I have ever played as far as the mental aspect is concerned. And Rahul also, I mean, a lot of credit to be given to Rahul, because he was the vice captain. He was asked to bat at number 6. He batted at number 6 without even showing any signs of struggle, because he was also down with a viral fever, and Rahul had a bad habit of dehydrating very quickly. So on the 4th day, what really tested us was our
a back end of virus
and our endurance to handle pain.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we remember that day a lot, because even at the end of that day, when I was close to 300, Rahul was close to a double 100. But what was important for us is not to lose a wicket and end the day without losing a wicket. Even though Justin Langer, Ricky Ponting, Aiden were bowling, we had a target in mind. So I think that really pleased me.
You probably didn't realize it at that point, but you are about to enter a phase of phenomenal success and phenomenal disappointment, both almost traveling in parallel lines. Australia 2003-04 was one of the best tours that I've been on, just to watch the quality of the cricket. But it came very soon after, probably the most crippling disappointment in your life, which is not being picked for the 2003 World Cup.
It was. I was a part of the one-day squad, but Dinesh Mongia joined, and I mean, I wouldn't tell that it was a wrong move or a right move, because the selectors have got their own reasons for that move. But I was not, even being on the 2 party, I've asked them, at least send me back to India, because you're not going to make me play for the rest of the series because Dinesh Mongia has come in. But they didn't send me back. And I was in the 2 party. I used to not practice. I used to not get an opportunity to play in the match. So it's almost like I was a tourist on that. So I thought the way I was treated was terrible. And that's when actually I thought that I would followed with the torturous India A to West Indies.
No, we won't talk about that. You stayed in with people
in Trinidad for 2 days, and it was a torture for me when India was playing in South Africa, the World Cup. Again, my parents, they told, forget about your disappointments. You've been given an opportunity to serve the country. You have to go and play the India A. I went there, but it was a torture. And after that, I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken. Luckily for me, there was a five-month break. And for 2 months, I was not in India. I went to US with all my classmates because all of them are doctors, engineers.
And it's always good to go back to people who don't know you as a successful person you are, but who knew you before.
Absolutely, and that really helped me. The two months I really enjoyed, and it was not about cricketer Laxman, but it was a classmate Laxman. And I spent time with all my childhood friends for 2 months in the US, and then I started missing something. And that was my love for the game.
You started missing the musical notes of bat hitting ball. And not for the first time, not for the last, Australia came to the rescue. And you went and you got that 148 at Sydney?
No, 148 at Adelaide.
At Adelaide?
And then 178,
178
at Sydney. But before that, again, the first series of that season was against New Zealand. And I got 100 at Mohali, saved the test match. We would have probably lost the test match. And I was the man of the series. I think from then on, I think I started enjoying the game more because of what I felt in the USA about missing the game.
That 148 that you got in Adelaide, it was you were having fun.
Yeah.
It was like you were scoring runs because you said, I'm feeling a little bored, let me score runs.
And I never played cricket.
No, it was like that. It always looks different from 100 meters away. I was 100 meters away, I watched every ball of that. And then you went to Sydney, and something very peculiar had happened on that tour. Virender Sehwag had got a 195.
Yeah.
You had got 148. Rahul Dravid had got 233. Saurav Ganguly had got 144. Only one man had got no runs. And you had a partnership of 300 million with Tendulkar in Sydney. Take a look at this. It was batting like you just want to see. However, there is something we want to show you before that, because you're this very studious guy, right? I want you to hear something and tell me if you know what it is.
Down the ground, there is a touch of beauty to almost everything that VVS Laxman does.
And I think we in Mumbai have a particular expression for that shot. And it's pretty much, it's not really saying anything. We only say, oh, ho, 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 ho. And that's the only way to describe that shot.
That was the oh.
I forgot, Sunny Bhai is from Mumbai. They love the straight bat.
Yes, they love the straight bat. Now I'll tell you something else that happened. With you at the other end is a man who's playing the ultimate innings of self-denial.
Oh.
One hit through the through cover, that's it, nothing through the offside. I asked him thereafter what was most difficult about that inning, Sachin. The 241 that is part of folklore, that wagon wheel is part of folklore. He said, yes, concentration was not easy. My brother had told me, don't give your wicket. He said, but the most difficult thing was that at the other end, VVS Laxman was just screaming the ball, the same ball through the offside, the same ball through mid-wicket, the same ball down the ground. And I'm thinking, I want to do it as well. And I had to say no. And he said, it made it so difficult because I'd stand at the non-strikers and there he'd go tum, tum, tum. How many boundaries did you hit in that 170?
I don't know. I don't know. But I'm very poor in statistics. But Sachin is a very modest person, Harsha, and that's his greatness as well. But I think we really enjoyed that inning. And as you mentioned, not playing even one shot through covers was really exceptional.
Did you not go and ask him what's going on here?
No, not at all. I never ever.
You were not two months at different bars.
I asked that kind of question to my partner because I have always allowed my partner to play to his game plan, because everyone as a batsman will have their own individual game plan. It's very important for them to stick. So you don't want to change. You discuss about various situations you are in. But what really inspired me about that knock from Sachin was the way he controlled himself.
Well, there you are, ladies and gentlemen. Brilliant cricketer, top man, VVS Laxman.
Thank you, Harsha.